Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and welcome back to my channel where I make a lot of cake and cookie decorating tutorials as well as give a lot of baking business tips. And be sure to stay till the very end if you want to know how I would price these cupcakes and meringues. Firstly, we're going to start off making the meringues and the Italian meringue buttercream. It really is actually the same thing. We're just going to add in butter later. So after heating the sugar to 245 degrees Fahrenheit, then I slowly pour that hot syrup in while the egg whites are whipping. Then I whip it on high for about 3 minutes. This ensures that it's not super dry peaks, but they're stiff enough so that you're going to be able to pipe them. I'm using a large rounded tip and I'm using my non-stick mats. I highly recommend these. It works better, I find, than just using parchment, but if all you have is parchment on hand, then feel free to pipe your meringues on that. The key to making a crisp meringue cookie is you want to make sure that you're baking these at a really low temperature. I bake mine at 185 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 2 hours, and then I open the oven door just ajar a little bit for about 15 minutes until everything is nice and cooled. I'm using edible pen to draw on their expressions, but feel free to use edible paint. Active time, those will probably only take you about 10 to 15 minutes to fully put together. Now moving along to the cupcake decorating. Cupcakes are another great treat that are super quick. They probably only take about 15 to 20 minutes to actually get them fully into the oven, and you can save time by making the frosting while everything is baking in the oven. And like I mentioned, we're going to use the same meringue recipe that we just used for the ghosts, and if you have some left over, just go ahead and add some butter in. And make sure to give it a good whip. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you can go ahead and check out this video in the right-hand corner where I give you a more in-depth look on how to make the Italian meringue buttercream, and I also provide the recipe in the description box. Now, my apologies, my camera ran out of battery without my knowledge, so I didn't have a video of me actually piping that. But what I did was I took that plastic wrap and I put it directly into a big piping bag, and then I piped everything out using a French tip. I'm using a large French tip for these cupcakes here, and we're going to actually cover up that little bit where things look a little bit disjointed. I will often do this, especially when I know that I'm going to be putting some sort of decor on there. For all of the colorant today, I am using Chef Master food gel, but really any food gel will work. If you use the colorant from something like a grocery store, chances are it's mixed with water, so you're going to end up with a really pastel color. You can really use any sprinkles that you want, but I would stay away from sanding sugars just because they're really fine and they tend to get lost on a cupcake. I'm using a little skeleton mold today. I tried to use a spider one earlier, but it was a total fail and it would not unmold. So something that has a bigger cavity like this skeleton mold is going to be a lot easier. And I'm just taking a little bit of fondant, but you could use modeling chocolate in this. And I'm sure you could actually do this with melted white chocolate too if you prefer. I mixed a little bit of white and a little bit of gray just to get that marbled effect on the skeleton. Now, if you've never worked with a fondant mold before, if it's a good one, you really don't need any cornstarch in there, but if you're a little bit nervous, you can pat a little bit of cornstarch on just so that it doesn't get stuck. Here are the finished meringues, and they all have different expressions. I think it's really fun when you do something like that. And then we have all these cupcakes here. Now, if you're wondering how to make those stenciled sparkly cupcakes, you can check out this video in the right-hand corner. Now let's get into the pricing of some of these items, and the pricing for this is going to be a little bit different. So for these meringues, what I would actually do is make them way larger for sale, and they would be $3 Canadian each with no minimum order, but they would not be a custom order. And then for these cupcakes, they would also be a stock order. I would not make these custom. $4.50 each Canadian per cupcake. Now you could do this as a pre-order for a half dozen or a dozen, or you could just have individual stock that's already ready available. And for today's subscriber submission of the video, you just know I had to feature Spooky House Bakery. I love all of the fun stuff they come up with. These look absolutely delicious, so go and check them out on Instagram. And if you want to be the next featured subscriber submission of the video, then please follow me at SD Bake Shop on Instagram, where you can either tag me in a photo or send me a photo. Any and all dessert levels are welcome. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading weekly, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye!